Hello, students. This is Mr. Z, and today we are going to set up our science journals. So, what you will need is a journal, that's the black composition books, a pencil, at least five different colors in the form of colored pencils or markers or crayons if you have them. Pencils are probably the best way to go because the markers will bleed through the pages on occasion. You also need scissors and the liquid Elmer glue. And the reason I say this is over the years of having students set up their journals, I've found that the stick glue doesn't work that well. So liquid Elmer's glue, and I'm going to show you how one bottle of Elmer's glue can last you almost an entire year. Because and we'll get to that because students tend to overuse it. All right, so sentence starter that you will need for today. You'll be doing setting a goal, and you can start your goal by saying, "My goal in science this year is to," and then you can complete that sentence. Over here it says, "Have your journal out, ready to write, cut out, and glue," because today we are setting up our science journals. All right, here we go. All right, so your typical composition book looks like this. And what we want to do is we want to end up with your first and last name. Don't use the nickname, use the name that I'm going to see when I'm looking up the grades in the school website so that I can give you the appropriate grade. Now, should it have your first and last name? You should write the topic of this journal is going to be science and what period that you're in. And if you don't know what period you're in, just leave a space for it until you can figure that out. And last but not least, you want to put your teacher's name, which is me, Mr. Zamaripa. And that's when we return back to school and you leave a journal maybe in the cafeteria. Someone will return it to me so I can give it back to you. All right, so that's what we're gonna do for the front page. Now, I'm going to go ahead and proceed to the next page because it's kind of the same thing. We're still working on the front of the journal, and now is the fun part. You're going to decorate your journal with photos or magazine images of things that you like or images about science. Now, I put images of science for mine. Um, Now, the thing is to use very small and thin layer of glue. Use a very small and thin layer of glue so that the images don't crinkle. So if you use too much glue and you glue it on there, what's going to end up happening is your image is going to crinkle. It's going to look terrible, and you're not going to be very happy with your journal the whole year. So you really want to put it on thin. Now, what I do is put a little bit of glue on my like a little dab of glue on my finger, and I kind of just spread it out as much as I can in the back of the image before I paste it on. And again, not a lot, just little. All right, so this is going to take you a while. So you can use magazines, you can draw, you can put photos. Um, and at the very end of this presentation, if you have a printer, you can print out a couple of these coloring pages that are really cool that you may want to consider. If you like, you can use it as a cover. Next page. All right, so when we open up our journal to the very first page, you're going to be looking at the back of the front cover in your first page. Now, again, I want to remind you about the glue. We are not using large amounts of glue, so just about 4 dots of glue per image that you're pasting onto your journal. And typically, what I do is I put a small dot on the back of whatever I'm getting ready to glue, and I rub it in with my finger so it's nice and thin, and then I paste it onto the page of my journal, and that usually ends up looking good the whole school year. All right, so just want to remind you about that before we get started. I will take off points if you have excessive glue, and and really the reason for that is that sometimes if you use excessive glue, a lot of these pages will end up sticking together, and they just rip when I'm reading them and trying to grade them. Okay, we're still on the front page. Okay, so um, you're going to number the first page number 1, and we're going to number in the upper right hand corner. In this class, we'll do it in the upper right hand corner. The reason I'm saying that is some other classes may have you put that number in a different location, but I would like it there because of when I'm grading your journals, I want to be able to rifle really quick to a certain page, and that may be the only page that I'm grading for that week. All right, you also are going to title this page My Class Goal. And in this page, I want you to take a few minutes and collect your thoughts. And I want you to write down one goal that you have for this class this year. And just make it one that you really want to see it through and have it come true. Because I'm going to help you meet that goal. And what I want you to do is write it down this front page so you can see it every day when you open up this journal. And I want you to use 5 colors to decorate this page because of what the science of education has taught me is that the more colors that you use when you're writing down your notes, the more likely you are to remember what you wrote down. And so that's very important to why I'm telling you to have at least 5 colors, whether they are color pencils, markers, or even crayons. And for this page, you also may need a little bit of glue. And it's perfectly okay to draw your picture, but if you don't want to draw your picture, it's perfectly okay to find a picture that that ties in with your goal. All right. So in this back of this front cover, this black part that's over here on this side, um, here's a place where I'm going to reserve to put the rubric. The rubric is a page that a teacher uses so he or she can grade each journal fairly. And so what I'll do is there's a set criteria that I'll look at, and depending on those criteria, that'll be the grade that you receive. Now, since we're not in school, I won't be able to give you this rubric, but I did include a copy of this rubric at the back of this PowerPoint. So if you have a printer, not all of us have printers, but if you have one and you print it out and you want to go ahead and glue it, what you'll do is you will create a little hinge on the top of the rubric and you will glue it. You would glue it right here to the top, and so that it folds. So it folds up and folds down because we may put some more. We may put some more things on there. All right. So we're going to go ahead and proceed to the next page. If I'm going too fast, remember that I am going to give you a copy of this that you can save in your Google Drive, and you can go through it as slow as you like. So inside the journal, you're going to be looking at 2 pages on both sides. And one page you're going to number 2, which is over here in this top corner. And the other page you're going to put page number 3. So go ahead and do that now. These 2 pages are going to be reserved for your table of contents. And you will write as a title on the top 2 lines of the page, table of contents. And on this table of contents, you're going to draw several columns. One column is going to say date. Another one's going to say title. Another one's going to say page. You're going to do the same for the other page. Now, if you don't have a ruler and you happen to have another journal, the side of a journal makes an excellent ruler. So just saying, because I know you may not have all your school supplies yet. All right, so I'll give you a few minutes to do that. And and of course, it's very self-explanatory what you're going to be doing. You're going to be writing the date, the title of each of your pages of notes, and the page number that it's located on. And that way I can find anything that I need to grade in a moment's notice, and it won't take me that long to grade. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the next page. Again, once you download this PowerPoint, you can go through this activity as slow as or as fast as you like. One of the things that you're going to notice is that even numbers will now appear to be on the left of every page. We will use this side mostly for drawing, and you're going to notice that odd number pages will now always be on the right. And again, we will mostly be using this side for taking notes. In this case, because we're going over classroom norms, we won't be drawing, but we'll actually write down the norms that we watch on the video. So if you have forgotten those norms, you need to go back to that video under the first day of class and write down those norms. There were 10 online norms that I wanted our class to practice. Now, classroom norms, we're going to discuss that the first day that we actually come into our classroom. So when we come into our classroom, you can expect a day that we're going to go over the behavior that we expect at school inside the classroom. And so you can leave this one blank for now, but go ahead and put the title because we will be referring back to this journal. All right, so next page, page 6 and 7, you can go ahead and number those. You're going to write or print uh, and glue the sentence starter page, which is also included at the last page of this presentation. You must use these sentence starters when you're responding to all teacher questions. So I ask you a question in this journal, you'll respond it by beginning it with one of these sentence starters. So if you're not going to print this out, then what you can do is you can write down these sentence starters. You can number them. You can categorize them by these sentences are about thinking in science. These sentences are about talking in science. And these sentences are about doing in science. So you can kind of decide which sentence you want to use when answering a question. It's very important to use these sentence stems when you're answering any questions or responding to any activity that I ask you to use. So again, you're writing these down. Don't worry about the picture if you're writing them down, unless you just love to draw. And if you have a printer, well, you're lucky. You can print it out. And you want to put 4 drops of glue, 1 on each corner. And again, use the glue very sparingly and put it right here in this page 6. Next, on page 7, you're going to copy the parent signature page exactly as it appears on page 7. And I'm talking about all the orange writing that's up here. So you're going to write here month. That's the title of that column. Parent signatures go here and date goes here. So each one of these months, your parent will sign after this month and put the date. And they are to look through your journal and just make sure that they are happy with the kind of work that you're doing. And if they have any questions, they can contact me by my email address right here. Now, you also have to write this right, because it is in orange. You can contact teacher, Mr. Zamripa, by email, fjzamarripa at aldeanisd.org. This is how your parents will be able to contact me. This must be there. If things are not done as I ask, it will be reflected in your grade. Remember, parents must sign and date at the end of each month. This will be part of your grade too. Okay, move forward. And again, don't worry if you're going too fast because you will have the PowerPoint and you can go through it as slow as you like. All right, we're going to go ahead and put page number 8 and page number 9. Again, notice that even number pages will now mostly be on the left. We mostly will use this side for drawings, and odd number pages will always appear on the right, and we will mostly use this side for note taking for the most part. Title and date of the notes go right here. You won't write the date and title, but what you will begin with, let's say we were doing some notes today, you would put today's date on there, and if it was over the characteristics of life, which will be one of the first ones that we do, then we'll write characteristics of life right here. All pages will be numbered. So at this point, you can go ahead and write page 10, 11, 12 until you finish numbering the entire journal. Please do not ever tear a page of your journal out because it will cause another page to fall out. And if you ever make a mistake on one page, just draw a line through whatever you made the mistake on and keep on going through. If it doesn't erase, just draw a line right through it. You will list in your page the title and date in the table of contents after you complete this step. So as soon as you write the date and title, you'll flip it back over to your table of contents page and you will fill out your table of contents. And you need to make a habit of that because it is graded. Okay, next page. Oh, so these are the extra copies of things that you can use. So if you have a printer, you can print this out, and this can be your sentence starter that you can glue on that page. This is the rubric of how I'll be grading your journal. Again, if you have a printer, you can cut that out. Now, if you don't have these two, I expect you to at least write down these sentence starters on that page, but you do not have to write the rubric on a piece of paper. And if you don't have a printer, whenever we get in class, I will provide you with a copy. Meanwhile, you have an electronic version of it on the PowerPoint slide that you're going to have. Next page. These are two of my most popular covers that I've used in the past. These are those adult coloring books. If you like, you can use this as one of your, if you don't have any magazine covers, photos, or can't think of anything to do, at the very least, you can personalize your cover by coloring these pictures and gluing them on your journal. Make sure that you still put your first name, your last name, and the science and your period number, and also my name on the top of this so you can still see it. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. And take this time now to go to the next folder to download your science journal instructions and complete that for today, because tomorrow we're beginning to take notes. Have a great day and can't wait for our really first day of instruction, which is tomorrow. Have a great day. Over and out. This is Mr. Z.